We're going to come over to this belt sander. Now this old belt sander I bought this part here at a garage sale for 12 bucks, and it, of course it didn't work and I had to fix it and all that stuff. I had to put new knobs on it here and so on and so forth. But it sat around for about 5 years until I came up with this sanding head, and actually it had a much smaller sanding head on it, and the motor, and I married the two together, and maybe you can kind of see that down here in the dust bin, the brackets and all of that, and that, I must have did that, I don't know, 20-25 years ago. And at the time I was doing it, I went, why am I doing this? I'm never going to use this tool. At the time I was a jeweler. It's way too big a tool as a jeweler. And I've used this tool pretty much every day since. Okay, let's crank it up. And since this is our master, I'm squaring up all the edges, making them nice and straight, so that when I draw lines, it'll be a smooth transition. Okay, now we got a bunch of rough, sharp edges, so I'm just going to kind of go in and chamfer those edges down a little bit, smooth them out. Feels pretty good. So not only do we have the design, but we have it in the arch that we're looking for. So it'll be easy to put on top of another piece of metal and strike some lines in it. So let's go over and do that. Strike some lines. Okay, what I realized that it's probably going to be easier to do this on the inside, at least to saw it. So we'll strike some lines on the inside and see what we come up with. There we go. Okay. So we'll do 8 more of those, and then we get on to the saw and go from there. Okay, Nick Collier here. It's the next day. It's a little cold out. It's autumn, middle of October 9th, 2013. So basically what we're going to do today is we're going to weld the door plate into the door itself. And I don't know if you can see it from there, but I'm going to give you some stills here in a minute. So what I basically did is I went and got a couple of nuts, square nuts. It didn't really matter. I got 3 of them the same thickness, so that I got some spacer between the table and the plate. And then put the plate in and get that all down nice and tight. And then we're going to crank up the MIG welder and weld a pass all the way around this. Of course, we're going to tack it in pretty tight first, because if we just start welding a pass, it's going to warp on me, and then it'll be a mess. So let's take a break, and we'll come back in a minute. Okay, there's our frame, and just put 3 nuts in there to give us just a little bit of space so that the plate sits back from the front of the door. Drop this baby in, and I know it fits. There we go. Come on. It fit a little while ago. How come? All right, we got to cut some corners off. Come back in a minute. All right, we took it over to the grinder and cut a couple corners off. Let's reset our nuts and drop this in there. There we go. Now it fits. Now we'll turn on the welder. Get ourselves a little gas here. Put a mask on. I think I'm going to put a glove on, because I like to have my trigger glove or trigger hand free. And yeah, let's put some glasses on. Alright, so going to just weld up each corner first thing. Of course, I got to have the ground in place, don't I? Okay, we've got the 4 corners in, and also what it did is it warmed the plate up too, so that gives me the ability to weld it without the plate being really cold and you know, stalling out with the welder. Get everything in? Yeah. Now I got just a little bit of a warp. Oh no, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to go in. We're going to do. I'm going to put a couple of tacks in the middle of everything else, and then we'll go back in and start welding it. Alright, that gets us a good start. Now we're going to come in and just go ahead and run a full pass. And probably we could turn it off at this point, give you a break. It's going to be a long, boring welding. Okay, we got it welded. Oh, no, I got one more side to do. Notice how it's dished just a little bit, but I think what I can do is put that in the press and just kind of press that dish back out. You can stay with me on this one. Now, you know, this is not a strength weld here. Basically, this weld is just to keep the smoke from coming out the front of the door. So, and you can see there's a bit of a warp in there. But I think, actually, I just might put it on the anvil and just bang it out with a sledgehammer. Oops. I burned my gloves. But put it on the anvil while it's still hot so that it's more flexible. Okay, let's give this a try. Yeah, it's going to straighten right out. Yeah, straighten that baby right out. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, it's, let's bring it around this way. Yeah, just a little bit of tweaking, just brought it right back into position. All right, so I'm going to do 8 more of these, or 7 more of these, and I'll be back. Okay, all the doors are done, as you can see, and basically from this point on, we're going to make the let's see, what would it be called? It's the casing for the door. And I've already pre-cut my little casing strips here. They go in each corner, or on each side. The shorter one goes there. The longer one goes there. And then really what I do is just match up these corners and do a tack weld on the corners. And you can stay with me on that part. Let's just see what we can get going here. Got a little dingle ball over here kind of getting in the way. I think it's going to be okay. So I'm not really worried about the squareness of the door itself at this point. I'm just worried about matching up the corners. Because I know if I get the corners squared up, then everything's going to fall into place. And because each one of these doors is somewhat unique, because I wasn't able to be real accurate with them. They're going to be, in fact, this one is incredibly unique because it's not matching up. So I'm going to have to come in and just clean up the door. I've probably got a little dingle ball or two here. So let me just take the door back and clean it up a bit. Take about 2 seconds. All right, you want to watch? Sure. There we go. There's the door. Here's the grinder. Come on back over. And let's see what we've got here. That fits a little better. Still just a bit off though. Let's see what we can do here. That's better. Look at that. Now it's really looking like it's a monster fit. Helmet back on. Ground. Square up. Okay, so as I said, each one of these doors is somewhat unique because it, you know, I wasn't real accurate with my cutting, and but once you can see once you put the door in place, you know, it's a little bit off here and there. It doesn't really matter that much. So let's see if you can break this loose, because there's a lot of leeway that you can move around. And the main thing is does the door open and close? Well, this one doesn't. Yeah, there it goes. Does the door open and close? And once I get this welded up and get the hinges on, then I can adjust the door so that it will open and close with its framing. So on to the next one. This one's been cleaned up already, so that's no problem. Alright, looks good. One more tack. Gonna have to muscle that one in a little bit. Shouldn't be a problem. Number 3. We got 5 more. I'll give you a break.